joke to me ever, does not affect anything that I do on a day-to-day basis. It means absolutely nothing. So you can't let people persuade you into doing wrong things, you know, because I feel like that's where it starts. Most of us, we learn right from wrong as kids, but when we go to school and we're around different people, they might convince us, even though they know right or wrong, they might try to convince us to do these wrong things, and you have to understand that you got to say no, plain and simple. Maybe you won't be so popular, but it's like when you're an adult, you don't want all these things when you were a kid, when you didn't even, I guess, have all the knowledge that you have as an adult to be still affecting you, you know? So you have kids that commit crimes as kids, and honestly, when you're young, it's not the end of the world. If you make a mistake as a young kid, it's okay, but when you start to get older, and now you're 16 and 17, and you start committing crimes, you're gonna deal with the cops, you know, the police, the sheriff's department, whoever, and they're not gonna be friendly, right? Because they're dealing with just people who do wrong stuff, and they don't care. I understand that people come from different backgrounds and things like that, so I feel like I'm very fair when I'm out there, but you can't expect that to be everybody. You know, they're gonna come from different places where there's barely any crime, and they're gonna come to places like LA to be a cop, and they're gonna be just hard. So your parents try to teach you before you go out, and then the world has to teach you, and the law has to teach you, because they're not gonna be no sympathy for you. Only people that care about you are like the people here who are obviously trying to make sure you guys are doing what you're supposed to and teaching you right from wrong. And it's super important. I get it, like I said, you're gonna go to school and you're probably gonna forget a lot that I said, but just try to remember, like, at least don't make big mistakes, or try not to. And if you do, it's not the end of the world. You pick yourself back up and you keep it moving, but the goal is to keep trying and trying not to let other people who are on different paths influence you to do wrong things. Because there's gonna be people out there, their whole goal is to do wrong. They don't care. They do not care how they were raised, what their parents taught them. They just want to do wrong. And guess what they want? They want everybody around them doing it too, so that they're not the only ones in trouble, right? Or they're not going to do it. They want to watch you get in trouble. They're going to tell you to do something dumb in class, maybe curse at the teacher or something, even though they would never do it. And then you do it, and now you're in trouble, you know? So you got to be very wary of what these people are trying to convince you to do. And again, I get it, as a kid, a lot of stuff is gonna go over your head, but as you get older, maybe you might remember bits and pieces of this, because it's super important. And again, believing in God and just having faith with God, like, that definitely helps. I grew up in the church, like, I didn't live a perfect life, but you know, it kept me grounded. So when a lot of people around me were doing certain things, I didn't even do it, you know, because I just knew better. I mean, my grandma, she was super strict. My mom, like, I didn't want to get whooped. Like I said, not that I didn't ever make mistakes, but there were just certain things that I just felt like would cross the line, and I just didn't do it. And that helped me, you know, in the future to, you know, become, obviously, a cop. That's something I want to do, though. If you want to be an engineer, whatever, that's fine. But it's like you have to start thinking about this stuff when you're young. You can't wait till you're 18 and you have this super long criminal record, and now you want to go do something positive, and now they're gonna say, no, like, we don't trust you. You may be an honest person, though, but they don't care. They're just gonna look at what you've done before, what information they can get about you, and use that to dictate, I guess, what you're gonna do in the future. Whether it's right or wrong, that's what's gonna happen. So knowing that, you have to think about what you're gonna do, or like the decisions that you make. Again, most little stuff that kids do, it's whatever, but I'm talking more of like big stuff, because you have people they're taking guns to school, they're dealing with drugs and stuff like that. Like, it's not even worth it. It sounds fun, it sounds cool because everyone's doing it, but it is not worth it in the long run. And when you're my age, you're gonna be glad that you didn't do these things, because you're gonna have a job, you're gonna be, you know, taking care of your family, have your car and stuff, while the people who were playing with that stuff, like, they're gonna be, you know, in trouble or having it harder. And again, having it harder doesn't mean it's not possible, it's just harder. So you got two choices. You can take the route where things are gonna be a little bit simple, a little bit easier, or you can take the hard route, right? You do whatever you want and then try to figure it out later. But for me, I'd rather take the smarter route. It's easier, right? If you think about it, I don't wanna do that, I don't wanna go to jail, or I don't wanna get in trouble for this, or I don't wanna, mess this up for myself. Like, it's gonna be simpler. You don't care, or if you think, because again, we think we don't care, right? We're here, we're young, we're in the moment. But long term, you're gonna care. If you start having kids in a house and you wanna move places and stuff like that, you're gonna care about that stuff. It's gonna be the most important thing to you. Hanging out with your friends and thinking you're popular to people, like, you're not gonna care about that in the future. If that's only in school. Once you get out of school, you start working and stuff, that stuff does not matter. And it's super important that You guys understand that? Because so many people are making these big mistakes as kids. You know, they're stealing cars and crashing and getting people killed and stuff like that. There's not going to be these things with your mom, your grandma. No one's going to be able to help you at that point. You know, if you get in trouble with the teacher, okay, that can be, you know, squashed. But once you start hanging out with these kids that are stealing cars, even though you didn't steal it, right? You're like, oh, I didn't do it. It doesn't matter because when you can get hurt in the crash. We have kids dying because they hop in the car with their friend with no license in a stolen car. They're like 12, 13, 14 years old, and now they want to get in the driver wants to get in a police chase and crash, and they've killed everyone in the car. There's like 5 kids in the car, and they all die. You know what I mean? Or they crash and kill someone else. You know? And guess what? You think they're gonna be like, oh, you're okay, like you weren't driving. No, they're gonna do you guys all the same, like, and say, all right, you guys are all in trouble. We're all putting this on all you guys' records just so that you guys know, so that they can start painting this picture of you, right? So you're probably a good kid, but they want to paint a picture of who they think you are and make sure that it tags along with you everywhere you go. You know what I mean? So you got to keep that in mind. And I just watch what's going on with the youth and the different stuff that they're doing, and even to me, I mean, it seems crazy. I know that when I was a kid, they said what we were doing was crazy, but now it seems super crazy because I'm like, we didn't steal cars, at least, like, you know. But I mean, it just seems like it's getting crazier and crazier. But it's just more important that kids stay locked in and that they know, like, it's only, you know, this little, I don't know what you would call when you're around other kids that are trying to be cool and stuff. That's just so temporary because it's only 18 years. It's gonna go by like that, and then you have the rest of your life. Assuming you live to 70 years old, you have 50 plus 60 years of your life, and you're gonna mess it up for the first 18. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. I don't care what they say. I know they're super convincing in the schools because, again, I used to think like, oh yeah, this is cool. Like, it's not worth it. Plain and simple, it's not worth it. They're gonna tell you how good all this stuff is. Oh yeah, we can just do this and get it this. It's not worth it because if you get caught, there's not gonna be much mercy for you. And now it's, again, we're used to our parents being the discipline, the person who disciplines us and stuff like that. But once it's the government and the cops and things like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's up to them. And they're pretty cutthroat because obviously they deal with even the craziest stuff. So you don't want to even deal with that. You don't want to be involved with the police. Like, 'cause guess what? Now if you get your own probation, your own parole, guess what they can do? Anytime they recognize you, hey, this guy, I know he's on probation, I'm gonna pull him over. And you gotta stop every time. They can search you, search your car, pull you out, embarrass you if you're with people. Like, they can do all that if they know you have a record. And best believe the cops that are around your area, they're gonna know you. If you have a record. If you're nobody, you live your life, you go to work, they're not gonna know you. But if you have a record and you're one that they've seen in and out and they talk about, oh yeah, that guy, they're gonna harass you. So again, they don't mention that when they're talking about doing all this fun stuff, right? But again, once you get in trouble, you lose a lot of things that the average person gets to keep, right? I can get in my car and drive, I don't have to worry about getting pulled over, even before I became a cop, unless I did something wrong, right? And the worst I would get is a ticket. But the people on probation parole, those are the people with all the car doors open. They're out on the sidewalk or in the back of the patrol car. They're getting their car searched. Those are the people who are making these big mistakes and committing crimes, thinking everything was going to be all good, you know? And again, long term, it's not. To me personally, like I said, I just feel like you got to remember, like, it's super, super, super important, like, to try to stay on the right path. It's not that you're not going to make mistakes. Again, we're all gonna make mistakes. You're gonna get in trouble. Things are not gonna go your way. Like, that's just life. But big mistakes like stealing cars or having a gun or taking weapons to school, like, those are huge mistakes that can change how the rest of your life goes. And those are things that people are doing every day. I get calls to school all the time because these kids are bringing weapons to school. Now, guess what? They put a case on you. Now you're expelled. You're going to some school somewhere else and things like that. And all your friends that you want to hang out with, you can't. They're probably even going to stay away from you once you're getting expelled and stuff like that. If they know what's good for them, it's just not worth it. But I see kids that get convinced by other people to do this stuff, and usually other kids, obviously, and they just don't understand. And then when we're showing them, now they're scared. Now their parents are there crying. It's just a bad situation. And obviously, a lot of times the kids wish they would have never did it. Most of the time, 99% of the time, the kids are like super regretful, wish that they didn't do it, but they didn't know that what they were doing would lead to something else. So when people are telling you, don't, weapons, cars, all that stuff, don't do it, trust me, do not do it. Because once again, you get caught and we're involved. Once the government gets involved, you have no more control. We have full control of what's gonna happen, right? Me, again, I'll be fair. If I look at a kid and he brought a BB gun to school and he didn't mean it by anything, right? He just, his friends told him bring it or something. Okay, I'll take that into consideration. But someone else might be like, nah, this guy, he's planning a mass shooting, or he's trying to, intimidate you. He was gonna point this at someone and try to scare him, and now you're gonna be dealing with a whole different type of beast that is not just you're gonna go to sleep and wake up and it's over with. Nope, it's gonna drag on and drag on and drag on and drag on. So yeah, decision making is super, super, super important, and trying to, like I said, listen to your parents and remember what you were taught, especially in the church, because a lot of things that I know, like that I didn't do, is grounded to the church, right? The morals that I have is from church. The things that I think are important are from church. So that's where it pretty much starts at. Once you have it here, like once you're focused here, or you're listening to what they're saying here, going out to the word, you're going to be fine, because you're not going to commit crime. If you're listening to your Bible and it tells you not to steal, you're not going to go out and steal because you're listening to the Bible, right? A lot of people that you're probably around, they may not have that. They're not going to have parents that have made sure they come to events like this, or we're in the church or anything like that. So they're going to be like, oh, well, if I don't get caught stealing, it's all good. But us, we're going to know that even if I don't get caught, God's watching. He sees it. So me, when I make decisions, I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I think no one sees, but God's watching me. Once you start thinking like that, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to look bad to God, and He's in charge of everything, right? We're living our life. Every second we're here is a literal blessing. It's a true blessing to be alive every single second. And again, eventually you'll understand that this is way bigger than us. We can focus on all this stuff that we think is important, and at the end of the day, God forbid, if things go south, you get some type of terminal illness, or you get really, really sick and could die from it. Like, none of it's gonna matter. Only thing gonna matter what's in this book. Did you live by it? And the bigger picture, bigger than earth, bigger than what we can just see right in front of us. Because again, as you go through life, everything's gonna be about, oh, what's right here, what's right here, what's right here. But it's irrelevant. You think that, oh, if I won $1 million right now, my life would be happy. And it's not gonna be the truth, And I think a lot of people fail to realize that, because we're just so busy chasing money, right? Because we want all these things and this and that. But little do you know, once you get it one day, that it's not going to matter. You think it matters if you have the nicest car on the block, but you have 6 months to live? You're not going to care. It means nothing. Being mad at, like I said, is forgive your enemies, and for you to treat everyone as you would treat yourself. Like, you think that when you're sick and you could be dying, like that's gonna matter, that you can forgive someone that did wrong to you? Like, no, you're probably gonna be like, man, like I hope God is gonna accept me. But again, you gotta look at how you were living when you were alive and understand that He may say, like, I don't know you, so that's important too. Like, this Bible is so important, again, as how you live your life, because it doesn't just mean in the church, it's in the rest of the world too. When you're out here and you're being nice to people, you're doing things for people, it seems like it'll never repay, right? That's what it's everybody be selfish and do what's best for them, but little do you know that doing things for other people could come back 10 years, 20 years from now and bless you beyond imagination, So, like I said, you could think these people are talking, just blowing smoke, just saying whatever, but you never know. And again, that's what I learned even being a cop, because I could look at a homeless guy and be like, oh, he doesn't know anything, but guess what this guy can teach me? How probably not to become homeless, right? He's gonna tell me, they tell you life story, they're gonna tell you, oh, these are all the things that I did wrong that got me here. So now you walk away knowing at least, okay, maybe I shouldn't do these certain things to end up like this guy, Don't overlook these people. And also, again, becoming a cop, I learned to be a little more understanding. So like, I talked to so many different people from so many different backgrounds with so many different situations and I learned from them. Honestly, I learned stuff that I never even knew. Just listen to people talk, and they're telling you why they do certain things, right? You sit there and you wonder why people do, I don't know, whatever that they do. And they'll tell you, most people will talk to you and tell you how they ended up where they're at and stuff like that. So that has helped me just moving through life and understanding and being more sympathetic. I get it, like everyone wants to be cutthroat, right? Everybody treats it like they're cutthroat to us, and we want to be cutthroat back, but then that's just more and more and more cutthroat people. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like I don't want to be nice, like, I don't want to share, I don't want to, do things for other people, but at the same time, it's like, then I'm adding to the problem, because I don't like that the world's like that. I wish we could all be, forgive each other and share and live how the Bible says to do, but because I don't want to be the one person to make a difference, I'm gonna make it worse. Like, you know what I mean? It's better to just be like, forget it. Like, I'm gonna be one of the few people that try to help other people and do positive things, and like I said, just make better choices. Like I said, that the whole point of what I'm saying is to, as you go through life, just try to make better choices. I get it, we're gonna make mistakes and stuff like that, but again, when you get to those big choices, you got two paths you can take. Always try to take the right path. Like, I can't explain how significant that has been in me getting to where I'm at, and how a lot of people get to where they're at in life and achieve way more than I ever done by just, you know what I mean, doing what they were supposed to do and not following other people. Because again, other people aren't going to lead you to something crazy, right? They're going to lead you to wherever they're at, right? Because they want other people with them. The people who are going to lead you to the right places, they're going to be the few, right? Because most people aren't going to be there. There's going to be a few people there trying to bring you along, but you're going to have the rest of the world trying to take you the other way, and that's where you have to kind of try to focus, you know what I mean? And you're going to have ups and downs. Like I said, nothing about this life is perfect. There's always going to be ups and downs, always going to be mistakes, but if you keep on going and you learn from them, I feel like you'll be okay, right? So again, let's say you did something, like, oh man, like it's over, like, no, that's not the way to look at it either. Because even if you do make a big mistake, guess what? Ask God for forgiveness, pick yourself up, and keep on going. Because this isn't over. Like, this life ain't a race; it's a marathon, right? So I can make a mistake and, you know, feel like I'm at rock bottom. And guess what? I have two options. I can sit there and mope about it, like, you know, it's all over with, or I can pick myself up and just keep on moving, trusting God, understand that most of this stuff doesn't matter, because it doesn't, honestly, and just keep on moving forward. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But like I said, all your decisions, you're gonna see how they affect you in the long run. So as a young person, trust me, remember this when I say it. Your decisions now will have an impact on how your life is in the future. When you're way past elementary school, where you thought being the cool kid, being the class clown was fun and the thing to do like I did, when you're way past that, you're gonna understand, like, yeah, like that, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. And again, just try to remember when you're at school and the kids are telling you to do something dumb or something that you shouldn't, or your kids around the neighborhood are trying to get you to convince you to join a gang or try drugs or whatever they're trying to do. Just be like, just try to remember, nah, I'm good. Like, I don't want my life messed up in the future, so I'm gonna be good. Let them do whatever they're gonna do. They obviously try to stop them if you can, but if they're intent, like they're gonna do it, let them do it. You stay away from it, so that in the future, when you have your kids and stuff, you can be comfortable. You can get the job that you want. You don't have to worry about the police harassing you or anything like that, and you can live a relatively peaceful life. But if you think your life is hard without any of that stuff, imagine the people who are living, which they still have to pay bills, they still have kids, they still have to do everything you have to do on top of the fact that you got all these other issues. You got a court date, you have to check in with someone, you have police pulling you over while you're just trying to get to work for no reason because they know that you're on probation and stuff like that. It's just gonna make a bad situation worse. So try your best to make these better decisions so that you do not have to sit there and regret the stuff you did in the past, like I said. And also, like I said, if you do make a mistake, understand that it's not the end of the world. Just pick yourself up, learn from it. Learn, because you don't learn by not making mistakes. You learn from your mistakes, right? So try to learn from them no matter what situation you end up in. Just try to learn and don't beat yourself up about it too bad. Just try not to do it again, because I feel like if you make a mistake and you spend, I don't know, the rest of your life beating yourself up about that mistake, it just makes your life, I don't know, it makes you look at life negatively versus like, like, okay, I made this mistake, but I'm still here, I'm still able, I can get up and I can still go out here and try it a different way. And just because the plan isn't going as you thought, which it doesn't, trust me, you can make whatever plan you want, the exact path that you want to get there. Life's not going to work like that. It's going to be zigzag, all these different places. You can still get to that goal of what you want, but just know that it's not going to be a straight line. Even if you make all the right choices, it still won't be a straight line. So always pick yourself up, because, like I said, I know a lot of people that, including me, myself, at least I used to beat myself up about a lot of things, and it keeps you stuck in the past instead of moving forward. Let it go, move forward. Forgive people if they make mistakes, forgive them, learn from it. Try not to make the same mistakes again. Keep going and pick yourself back up. And even when it comes to the Bible, right? Because sometimes I'm like, man, I'm breaking the 10 Commandments, and I'm like, man, I should just give up. I'm going to hell. But it's like, that's a quitter mentality. It's like, nah, I made my mistake, forget it. I want to quit because it's not going as I planned and I'm frustrated, but it's like, I'm to the point where, no, I'm going to get up and I'm going to keep trying. And that's what everything goes. Do it. I don't care what you want to be when you grow up. I do not care if you want to be anything, pretty much. I obviously don't do anything negative that, but anything positive that you're trying to do to survive and, do what you love, just remember that keep picking yourself back up and go and keep going. No matter what, like, again, if you know what you want and that's what you want out of life, it's something good, something positive, something beneficial for you, like, do it and pick yourself back up, because most people just gonna quit. We all quit, but even if you quit for temporarily, still pick yourself back up when you remember to keep on going. And I feel like with those things, like, I feel like you should be okay. You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to, get through most problems with those attitudes of making better choices when you can, learning from your mistakes, and not giving up. And it's I know I'm making it sound simpler than what it is, because it's hard. It is hard. Even for me, for everyone, it's hard to keep trying when things are going south and stuff like that. But if you can set it in your mind young, I'm pretty sure that's probably the best time, because once you get older, it gets harder and harder and harder and harder. When you're young, you're able to, I feel like you have more ability to train yourself to be a certain type of way. That's when you learn your discipline and all that stuff like that. Because when you're trying to learn it as an adult, it just gets harder as you get older. It's not impossible. I don't care how old you are. You can still learn new things, new disciplines. It does not matter. You can learn. It just gets harder. So to make it easier on yourself, do it now. So in the future, it's a little bit easier. You know what I mean? So